Good morning. So a couple of you have got in touch and asked about the analysis aspect. So I thought I'd just do a really quick video, and I promise I will keep this one short, about how to go about analysing your data once you have produced the graphs. Okay, so the first thing to say is there's a real temptation when it comes to kind of analysing data to get really bogged down in kind of explaining each graph individually. And what you do if you do that is you lose sight of the bigger picture. Okay, so in order to get this set up, there's three things I suggest you have open. One, which is your kind of the document with your graphs on it. One, which is your and that could be on the data on the table. It's good to have the spreadsheet open so you can always refer back to stuff that might not be completely obvious, or you want to check values. And for me, I've got kind of a new document I've started here, where this could be on the existing document, this could be in your whole report even. But when we're doing data analysis, we've got to remember what's the purpose of it. And the purpose of this is to answer these questions here. So the first question, what is the environmental quality in South London? Now, we color-coded this into say the two things we were going to do was we were going to look at the EQS values in East London and the noise pollution. So if I've got other graphs that help me find out, that tell me about the different environmental quality, great. But these are the two things I need to focus on. So what I want to do is find all the graphs that relate to that question. I'm just going to get rid of this bit for now. There's one of them. And there's the other. And now I want to use them to answer that question. So I've had a go at kind of summing up those two on this sheet already. So I've said that here the pattern suggests the Burgess model is correct because the overall value does slightly increase. However, it's quite weak because there's no clear correlation. You've got some high parts here, and high parts here, and then some really low ones again here. I've picked out a few sites that support that. So the highest scores were found at site 3 and site 15, which were not at all close together. So it suggests there's no strong pattern between environmental quality and distance from the CBD. And again, I've done the same thing here to say it does look, this data graph does show that. So I can use this if I've done it. So I can copy and paste these in and have it. These are probably a bit more detailed than we'd necessarily need to go. So this one's for noise. This one is for, and this is the kind of level of analysis I'd expect the year 13s to be doing with their NEAs. And this one's for environmental quality survey. Sorry, for their A-level coursework. So if you're working to this level, that's great, but actually what we need is a quick summary here and here, potentially, but doesn't need to be anywhere near this long. And then we want to come back and what is the environmental quality in South London? Like, let's focus on answering this question. This is what we set out to do. So, the easiest way to do that is to start by repeating the question. Overall, this shows the environmental quality in South London is highly varied. Noise pollution, and I'm just going to summarize what I've written above. Noise pollution appears to be slightly higher in areas closer to the city centre, particularly in areas with shopping as the mode land use. And environmental quality from the survey appears to be lowest closest to the city centre Sorry, typos galore here. However, there is no clear pattern, and the pattern as the trends note data varies greatly. So that is more than enough to answer the overall question. And I'm just going to have to correct all my typos. And then top that. Well, I'll do that later. But you can see, so what I've got a quick summary of the graph for noise, I've got a quick summary of the graph for environmental quality, and I've got a quick graph, and I've got a short paragraph at the end that repeats it. If I've got, because I've quoted figures in this part, I don't necessarily need to quote them again here. I've just summed up what I've said. But the key thing, I can't stress this enough, is focus in on answering the question. If I have produced another graph, let's say I had a graph of the average questionnaire scores, I could, in theory, also include that in this section if I felt that showed, if I felt that was useful. So I could just quickly make that, if it's going to work, because they're sorted already. That's fine to use it as it is. You know, if I was going to do that, I'd probably put it in here. And then I'd just add in another section which says, people's perception of the environment. It'd probably be better if I have the trend in there as well. But something along the lines of, I could just add in addition, people's perception of the EQS from the questionnaire data also suggests there is no strong no clear pattern across South London. Okay, so if you could have one graph that shows that, you could have two, you could have three. Obviously, the more graphs you have, the more data you have, the stronger your correlation, the stronger your pattern. But that's essentially what we're looking to do. Brief summary of the graph, and then a kind of an area that pulls it all together. And yeah, I would avoid writing any more than that for all three of those questions. But hopefully you can see how everything I've written there is really focused in on answering that question. So I can make this available for you if you want, just let me know. But that's kind of the first one done. Hopefully you now can have a go at moving on to the other two.